The topic of this video, it's basically going to be on Catholicism and anime. So, now that Lent has actually started, basically yesterday for me, well, today's video, we're going to be talking about the things that most people don't even think about with animus and Catholicism or like Christianity or whatever. Really, I just wanted to give like kind of my experience with I guess how I've been living my life for like the longest time. And really I wanted to talk about this because I am a pretty big anime fan. I do collect a lot of like Blu-rays and whatnot. I've got like tons and tons of shows. Not too many D-Gen shows, but because I don't really like the D-Gen shows, which I will talk about a little bit later. I really wanted to actually focus in on Catholicism and anime, and if it's basically like holding me back, I would say, from being like a Christian, you know, and actually like giving my whole life up to Jesus Christ. And well, the answer to that is yes. It definitely is holding me back, and I know that it's holding me back, and it's a constant struggle, you know. Especially because like it's literally like been 4 years. I think since yeah, it's been like 4 or 5 years since I actually like started watching anime. And becoming the degenerate that is before you today. But so yeah, so my first anime was actually Fairy Tail, and yeah, that came at about a time where I was like, hey, this is so cool, you know, and whatnot. So that's pretty much what happened with that. That was my first anime. Got me very, very much addicted, I would say. Not necessarily. Honestly, like if I even try to say I'm not addicted, it's just gonna be like, yeah, you're a hypocrite, and I know I'm a hypocrite by far. Like I've watched tons of animes. Pretty much I only watch the good ones, not the just the crummy like trash animes that everybody talks about. But I do know about them quite a bit. Actually brings me to the topic of my dress-up darling, the hottest trash anime of all time, I would say. And I'm not even gonna try to watch this show because I just know that it's like, oh my gosh, like just from the thumbnails I see on YouTube, I'm like, bro, this is the biggest trap I've ever seen. And so I just avoid this at this point because I really don't want to fall into that kind of stuff again, you know? Because my struggle with anime is definitely from more of a, like, I would say lust standpoint. It's definitely been extremely challenging, especially because you know how with all the waifus and that kind of culture around, like, oh my gosh, this is the new waifu from the show, wow, oh my gosh, wow, yeah, that kind of stuff, you know. Well, that's honestly kind of messed up, I guess, like my life in a way, you know? Because it's like honestly extremely hard to actually connect with someone or like actually like dedicate yourself to someone if you have such a cancer as it's just such a it's like in my heart I'm like, I don't want this to go down that certain way, but I just get drawn in so easily, and it's definitely a very, very big struggle. But so that brings me to Catholicism, because like pretty much going into college I was like, I'm just gonna give up, you know, on trying to like degrade myself about like liking anime and whatnot, or being such a degenerate, you know? I was such a degenerate back then, and I guess I still am. Nothing's really changed, but something is changing though, and that's honestly kind of cool, you know. I basically went into college and I was like, whatever. I don't really care too much. I'm just gonna live my life how I want to live it. But then I started going to like masses and stuff because my roommate, my friend, actually like invited me. We were like friends in high school also. He started inviting me to masses, and so I kept going, you know. And then yeah, and then I honestly just started to open up a whole lot more than I ever had before. And actually really like understand that like I was in a bad spot and I actually needed to change. So it's been a rough journey, and I'll talk about some more of this later, but it's honestly been a struggle because it's like as soon as I like find my like groove of like, yeah, like everything's different now, everything's gonna change, it's like there's just one day or like something happens and then it's like I'm just straight back into that, and it's really tough. And so that brings me to my next topic, the 7 deadly sins. And I'm not talking about the anime, actually, but I just thought it would be funny to put this 7 deadly sins anime thing right here, because this is another show I haven't even watched yet, and I probably won't watch it because I probably just won't like it entirely. It might be okay, but nah, I think I'll pass. The themes of the show, like, actually centered around the 7 deadly sins. That would actually be incredibly interesting, and that's probably part of the reason why I like ReZero so much, is because it actually focuses around the 7 deadly sins pretty much, and you really get like a sense of what they actually are and their personifications, I guess. But so yeah, if you don't know what the 7 deadly sins are, yes, pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. And honestly, if you struggle with one of these, you probably struggle with every single one of them. Like, I know I can definitely say that probably the one that actually brought me into each of the 7 deadly sins pretty much, because they each lead to each other. It definitely started with lust, because it was actually like more so of a perversion, I would say, of like my actual true self, because honestly, I deeply care about everything. At least I would like to think I do, but my actions say different quite often. That honestly kind of leads to other things like envy, because it's like, this is one point, like I've never had a girlfriend or anything, and honestly that was because I was like, oh yeah, I don't need a girlfriend if I've got my anime waifus, you know? That's how it works. But yeah, honestly that leads to envy, because it's like whenever now I struggled a long time with seeing like other people in like happy relationships and that kind of stuff. It definitely stings a lot. And like honestly, it could end up leading to like jealousy and stuff, and I have struggled with stuff like that in the past. Then envy, of course, leads to greed, which makes you even more like, oh yeah, we gotta get that. It's like you become so greedy over something that you expect that you like deserve to have, and that kind of stuff. Like, I honestly don't deserve anything. Like, I literally don't even deserve to be alive, but here I am. So second point on here, it says covetousness. That's definitely something I struggle with also, because it's like I can be a possessive person, but I'm also the kind of person that's just like that, like, does value like freedom, and it really pains me to think of it honestly actually like kind of angers me to see other people that are like not free, you know, kind of Eren Yeager-esque, you know, but not quite like that. Definitely greed and covetousness. It's like I'm very possessive of like my worldly possessions and stuff, but honestly, it's like there's a few things that I do care about that definitely I can become greedy over, and there's definitely a few things that I can be greedy over. Like, and I'm definitely not the most charitable person either. Like, I try to give, but honestly, it's usually selfish gifts, and that's really what I want to change. Greed, and that kind of leads to anger or wrath, because it's like, if you're like angry about like not getting what you want, that really can kind of like spiral down into anger and wrath. And then also becomes pride, because if you're pride, or you're like vain about all your stuff, you're like, whoa, I'm so cool, I'm like the coolest person here, everybody's not cooler than me. Honestly, I don't think I'm not cool. I don't think I'm that cool. Really, I don't try to be prideful about any of my stuff, but there's certain times where I like find myself actually being prideful over like certain things, or being like, oh, I'm not going to help this person, or like even like say hi to them, or like try to really talk to them if I'm like thinking like, oh yeah, like, I don't know. And it's extremely hard because it's like, especially with Catholics being like kind of a minority, especially also being like conservative also and a Republican. It's like it's definitely very hard. It's like I have a sense of pride about like thinking that I'm in the right, you know, all the time, and that's definitely very self-righteous. And I really don't try to be self-righteous because I really have to be more compassionate, I would say, to other people, and try to like either like help them understand like actual logic behind the stuff more so. But honestly, that also leads into sloth because I honestly am an extremely slothful person. Like sloth, it's one of those things where it's like there's a fine line between being slothful and being patient. Being patient is waiting for the right moment to act, but being slothful is waiting for the last moment to act. And I definitely wait for the last moment to act at some on several occasions, and it honestly is definitely one of the things I struggle with the most, I would say. It leads to like gluttony, like just overindulging and stuff and being like, oh yeah, I'll stop this later and that kind of stuff. And that links back into like lust and other stuff as well, because like it's just, it's like an appetite, and if you allow yourself to indulge in that and not like actually turn away, like you just fall in further and further in. Now I want to talk about these 7 heavenly virtues, and these are actually basically the opposites to all of those vices, as they would call them, the 7 deadly sins. Patience is the opposite of like sloth, or wait, diligence is the opposite of sloth. I guess they've got patience on here instead of wrath, because yeah, wrath, all of these are honestly very, very interlinked with each other. Same thing with like the 7 deadly sins. They're all they're all kind of different sides of the same like die, pretty much. But yeah, like definitely being mindful to all of these definitely really helps. Like being more humilitous, being more humble, showing kindness to others instead of being prideful, practicing chastity, and like actually making an effort to like turn away from, or like actually like have self-control, charitable, and not just being completely greedy. Like, and it's also important to be thankful for what you actually do have, because it's like, honestly, like with my main YouTube channel, I've got like 10,000 subscribers on there, and like I never thought I would be at that point, but once like like stuff slows down, you know, and you're not getting as many subscribers, you're not making as much money, it's very, very important to have a heart that's like appreciative of like what has happened in the past, even if it's not like continued through the future, because it's like even if there's like even one moment in my life that even if there would be like a one day where I would be like I don't know, like just like saved, and I knew that, you know, even if like I did fall back into stuff later on, I'm still incredibly thankful for those few days that were like actually good. And really, it's like, honestly, looking at all of these like virtues and vices, it's like kind of giving an outline to actually what your soul actually is, or like who you actually are as a person, more so than who you portray as a person or what you actually are, pretty much. Now that we've gotten a lot more of that kind of stuff out of the way, I kind of want to talk about the Garden of Sinners and the origin theories, or the origin kind of concept, where it's like each of the characters pretty much have like their certain like origin, that like if they're actually aware of what their origin is, like it incredibly like affects their lives, you know, or like they can draw like power from it, pretty much. It's honestly a very cool concept. This is a very, very good and well thought out series. So in terms of the origin, like I was actually thinking about this a lot, like what actually could my own origin be, which honestly I would consider the origin to be more of a actual like who are you in your entirety, more so. Well, not necessarily in your entirety, but like what is the core thing about you. And honestly, I don't even know. Like I've honestly kind of thought of it for a long time, and initially initially, and I think this is probably the best thing to subscribe to describe me, at least in how I perceive myself, is duality, because it's like I think one thing and then I do another, and it really becomes quite a struggle. It becomes like kind of like a cycle, you know, of where it's like, yeah, you might be good right now, but hey, a few weeks from now, you're gonna be right back where you were, even worse than before. Or maybe not even worse. Maybe it's just like something different is even worse. I kind of just wanted to talk about that a bit right here. To end this off, I just wanted to let you know that I really do care about a lot of stuff. I'm just as broken, and really I kind of wanted to make this video because I just felt led to do it, I would say. And but there's also there's very many reasons. Some of them are selfish, some of them are not. But honestly, just behind everything, there's just a hope and love for Jesus, and really a love that I haven't even fully realized yet. But anyway, it's been me, Hokiyoku. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Farewell.